Doesn't matter, just edit, we'll just cut it out.
Yeah, okay.
Record it?
Okay, sit down, I've just started recording.
Fuck. Oh, okay, well, once we start, we just. Yeah.
Right, there's another issue.
Oh, there we go.
It's just slightly out of focus. Okay, I've got it now. Stop moving.
Wait, can you see the phone in the shot?
No, you
be able to
can't.
do that.
You can't see anything on the
Yeah,
phone.
okay.
You can barely see your laptop, but stop moving your head so violently.
Because you're there.
Yeah, but the camera, just don't look at me when you're talking.
Okay.
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Hell yeah.
This is dog shit. Just.
Tiny bit.
I set it to autofocus. I did a manual as well.
Is the screen touch screen?
Yeah, it is.
Just tap in the middle of it, wherever you want to focus. And it should just keep that in focus.
Okay, it's focused now.
Is it recording?
It's recording. It's
Oh, okay. Wait, so your full name is Joshua or
Joshua. Wait, you can call me whatever you want.
Josh Lipovic.
Lipovic,
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Okay, so your job title is the network analyst, like right now.
Right now, that's a good question. My exact job, like my job name on contract is I'm a school support officer / junior.
Oh, wait, we haven't started yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just asking you. Just
casually.
Yeah, just casually, yeah.
Well, no, I'm a junior network architect.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
okay.
that's what I do, but my job title is school support.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to introduce you first.
Yeah, of course,
and
go
then,
ahead.
and then I'll ask you the questions.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. So this is Joshua Lipovic. He's an IT expert. He's at uni. But how old are you?
I'm 19.
So he's 19. And how many jobs have you had?
I've had 4 jobs, 4 full-paying jobs. They've all been in the IT field, luckily. I've never had to go to any other field besides IT.
Yeah.
I started... Oh, should I talk about that? No?
Yeah.
Where I started?
No, yeah, just talk about it, yeah.
Okay, I started doing basic volunteer role at a school. The school I was studying at, I would help out every recess and lunch and afternoon.
Yeah.
Just with basic IT things, and that's where I kind of found out that I really liked IT.
Yeah.
From there, I got offered, after I finished Year 12, a 1-year contract with Catholic Education in Wollongong to be sanctioned out at school and to work on all IT things.
Yep.
After then, that's when, after the 1-year contract was finished, I decided to stick with contracts. So I did a 3-week contract with Microsoft, a 4-week contract with Apple, and I did another dozen weeks with various different schools around until I am now at a permanent part-time position at Sydney Catholic Education Office, being a junior network architect.
Okay, so what do you do for that job? Oh, yeah. Well, what do you do as a junior network architect?
My main role is to continue to make sure that critical infrastructure is kept online. As we commission over 2,500 students, they all have to have access to the internet, email services, and the internet itself. I've got to make sure that all the systems are up to date and that they're all working effectively. I am on call whenever they need me, but it's mainly I've just got to make sure it runs no matter what time of day it is. So.
Yeah. Okay, so what does your company do exactly?
The company that I work for is Sydney Catholic Schools. They are a large school system that manages all of the Catholic schools in Sydney. Mm-hmm. I'm paid by them, but there's various different, it's one big umbrella, but I'm mainly sanctioned under the network infrastructure company of Sydney Catholic Schools. So the network infrastructure part of the school, they manage every single school's IT structure, and that is to make sure every other school's working, but that big head office who mainly manages like the big network stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what experience do you believe is necessary for the job position you have right now?
If I'm talking strictly on paper, I got this job, they required 5 years experience and an IT degree with it. I don't have an IT degree yet, I'm still studying, but I did have the experience. So for the role that I do, you definitely need the long-term experience that that anyone would need. But it's more of experience of what problems you'd experience on a day-to-day basis rather than strictly hardware knowledge or something like that. So
Okay. So what are good attributes you believe an individual should have for your job personally?
Definitely the ability to learn on the fly. It's a really, really big one. A lot of things aren't written down. There's not a lot of protocols or steps that you need to follow. So definitely being able to work with what you're given is definitely a necessity. So the ability to continue to evolve your professional experience and your IT experience around an ever-changing role is definitely a big one. But it's mainly it's the ability to learn, which is very good. Yeah, the IT industry is definitely not at a standstill. It's continually progressing and changing. So the ability to keep updating and evolving your knowledge is definitely critical for any IT, but especially network infrastructure.
Yeah, okay. So how do you move up the the job ladder? How do you move up in your job?
Well, it's definitely from starting from the bottom. Starting from the bottom was definitely level 1 IT help, so that was just the basic pick up the phone, see what's wrong, tell them to turn it on and off again, just like the IT crowd. Everyone starts there. That's just how IT works. You don't get good at IT just by being born with it. You've got to work with it. So how I progressed up the IT role is definitely through my work experience of doing that 1-year contract as just a level 1. Then I progressed myself after figuring out all level 1 and level 2 stuff. That's when I moved on to level 3 doing the contract. So it's definitely making sure you get your hands in as much things as possible and continually being interested. That's a big thing,
Yeah. Okay. So how has your job impacted you personally? So let's say from a stress standpoint or like your relationship dynamics with everyone, how has it affected you?
That's a very good question. It's definitely changed. It's definitely changed. It's a lot more stress. Having a lot of people depending on you. Yeah. I always say I don't want people to know who I am until they need to know who I am.
Yeah,
so I really prefer to work in the background for most things, making sure most things run. But making sure most things run in the background is definitely a lot easier said than done. So it's very stressful in terms of making sure that everything works, but for day-to-day things, it's usually okay. So, but in terms of dynamic of relationships, a lot of personal family relationships have it's always been a little bit difficult. Having to get calls in. One example is I got called into my work at 2 a.m. because we had a blackout. The blackout shorted a few things, so I had to get up at 2:30 in the morning and get to my workplace to fix it all before 8 a.m. so that no one would have an issue. And coming home very sleepy or aggravated, definitely wouldn't help my dynamic. But that's just part of the job, and I guess that's just how it is. But it's definitely being impacted in more ways than I thought it would. So.
Yeah. So what type of ethical issues have you encountered in your job position as a junior architect?
A lot. IT is definitely a string of ethical issues. There's definitely a lot of decisions that need to be made where the ability to. What am I trying to say? All right, I'll say that again.
Yeah.
I'll start again. Definitely in the IT field, there's a lot of ethical concerns that do come to mind. Privacy is definitely one of them. I have experienced every number of IT ethical issues that can come across in regards to higher-end staff needing access to other staff's emails or messages or something like that due to something that's happened. It's always a new ethical issue that usually isn't documented.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, you've got to really take it really cautiously and document everything that you do. So I've had a wide variety of ethical issues. Accessing, as a network infrastructure guy, I could access everyone's emails, I could access everyone's passwords, I could access everyone's files, I could access all their information, where they live, what they're allergic to, who their parents are, their phone numbers and their banking details. I could access everything I could. But of course, I wouldn't. It's not something that would interest me, and it's just not something that would be ethical to do. So you've definitely got to play the game right in terms of making sure that what you do is ethical in regards to everyone's point of view and not just your own. So, does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, so this one isn't on. I didn't write this one up.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm just gonna just ask this one. So take me through a day-to-day how you just run your job daily. Just take me through it.
Yeah, of course. Well, I work in the city, I work in Sydney, and since I live out here in Campbelltown, it's about a 40-minute drive in. So as soon as I get into work, the first thing I do is I check that everything's up. So we have 10 or 20 different virtual machines in clusters that we've just got to make sure are operational before school starts at 8:30. So I arrive there around 7:30. I arrive there about 7:30, I start at 7:30, I'm paid it to start at 8. But that's the first thing I do is just make sure everything's up. If something isn't up, I've just got to figure out why immediately. Usually I have about a 45-minute window of making sure everything's up before I start getting people into school, and then people start complaining that something's going on. So the first thing I do is check everything's up. If everything's up, it's all golden, I'll just start to work on ticketed issues, like monitors not working, computers not turning on, or missing files I need to install something. If something is down, that's where I go into a little bit of a havoc mode, figure out why, check the logs, see see last time it was on, see what happened, see what changed, run over and make sure it's all up. But my day-to-day life is usually just ticketed items, so fixing, computers and stuff like that. Not too crazy.
Yeah. So what was your experience when starting the job?
My experience was definitely different than what I thought it would be. It's very fast-paced, and that's what I really enjoy about the IT environment. It's definitely everything's on the move. There's nothing to stand still. There's always projects, there's always upgrades, and there's always moving. There's definitely not a time that you can sit down and say, all right, well that's all I'm doing. I can just sit down and relax for the day. There's always something that needs to be done. So definitely, I didn't expect it to be as fast-paced as it was, and as I've experienced. So, yeah.
So if I wanted to start a job at your company, where would be the best place to start?
Definitely the best place to start would be a level 1. Definitely smaller end items. There's always level 1 jobs that need help with. As someone, I'm a level 5 technician, so definitely doing a lot of the easier jobs. Just it wouldn't be worth them paying me to fix a monitor or fix a printer. It's definitely not worth their time for me to do that. So starting right at the bottom, level 1, that's the best way to really break into the market. Show them that you're interested in what you do. And it's a really nice, easy way, because there's not a lot of stress in that environment, and you always know what you're going to do per day. So the best way to really break in and start would be just level 1, straight basics.
Okay, so that's all the questions I have, and thank you for thanks for the interview.
Of course, no way.
Yeah. So this is the end of it. What the hell? Okay. You go. Yep.
Not a worry.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Okay.
Is that the end?
Yeah, that's it.
That's all you're going to do?
Yeah. Well.